We apologize for this brief interruption in the show. As many of you likely know, the Higher Standard podcast is officially sponsored by Transcend Company. Transcend has been my longtime provider for both testosterone and peptide therapies, but they offer so much more. Whether you're interested in health, wellness, or longevity, it all begins with you getting your blood work done. A lab draw will help you get the numbers and establish your baseline. You can go to transcendcompany.com/THSP. That's transcendcompany.com/THSP. Or you can click the link in the show notes on any streaming platform and on YouTube. Fill out your information, and one of the representatives will contact you to get your journey started today. Now back to the show.
How do you do this when it moves out? I can't remember. Do you start it literally with you walking in, or do you just start it now?
I'll start it
Right
there. Yeah.
there.
That's where we'll start it.
That's where we start right there.
So, as you probably already heard, Haroon, the one old DJ Haroon, is not with us tonight.
On PTO. Again.
It's a reoccurring theme.
At least he's being honest.
It's a reoccurring theme. Well,
True to himself.
Shall we kick it old school?
Old school.
All right. Welcome back to the #1 financial literacy podcast in the world. Sitting next to me, my partner in time. Presence is a vital thing in this business. The one and only Saied Omar.
Thank you, my man. Sitting next to me on my left is my partner in crime, Chris Nahibi. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
And sitting behind the ones and twos is not DJ Haroon. As you already heard, he's on PTO. Look, the rate environment is changing. The Fed has come out and said some things you've undoubtedly heard by this time about their position on the markets and the likelihood of looming rate cuts.
And you're sitting back and you're thinking to yourself, damn, Chris and Saied were right.
And you're also saying, well, what the hell does this mean for me?
Absolutely.
We're going to answer that question for you. And we're also going to talk about some sensational stuff that happened this week. Meta put out an interesting letter we're going to read to you.
Oh, we got to talk about all the variables.
I found out about a fantastic new job opportunity for us.
Oh,
A professional whistleblower, brother.
I saw that.
And you can get paid a shit ton of money for doing that.
We'll get into it.
More to come on that. But before we get into all of that, tell them what they need to do.
If you're listening to the show on Apple or Spotify, please head over and leave us a 5-star review. It does a lot for the show. We appreciate it greatly. If you're watching us over on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, ring that notification bell. Let's get this video out to as many people as possible. We got a lot of good reviews on the last episode.
You ask and you shall receive.
Yeah, we asked, we received. They wanted the merch, bro. That's what it is.
And I'm happy to hand merch out for that.
Honestly, yeah, I'm all for it. You deserve it.
How many reviews did we get?
We got like 4 or 5. I mean, some came in through the personal DM, and they wanted to make sure we saw it, and then they hit it in the comment section. So we'll read it at the end of this episode.
I said we pick 2 at the end of the episode and just give 2 people merch, but they have to have posted either on Spotify, which we are now streaming video on, by the way.
Yeah, we didn't get enough thank yous. I got some thank yous. I didn't get enough.
I saw one.
Because I definitely got a lot of people over the last several months saying, when are you guys going to do it? Come on.
Yeah, I was worried about audio quality not being that good, but honestly, it wasn't discernibly different when I listened to it.
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I checked it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Would you've told me it was shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would not shit, but I would have been like, hey, it was
a little sus.
It was a little sus.
Which, by the way, the kids aren't using sus anymore.
No, they are. I'm following the dad pages.
Oh God.
And then sometimes you get these mom feeds too because you follow the dad pages. They think, oh, you're a parent. And what I'm seeing a lot of is these moms sitting with like their sons.
Haroon, this is for you, brother.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
And these moms are sitting with their sons and they're just going over like hip terms. So there was one that I don't understand. Maybe you can provide an assist. Mom says, crazy. And the kid goes, Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio.
I don't get it.
It's crazy.
What's crazy? What's crazy about LeBron? All I know about Ohio is LeBron is from there.
No, Ohio crazy, bro.
Ohio, and I think.
Yeah, Ohio's crazy.
Isn't Rogue made out of Ohio?
Ohio bar, yeah.
No, they have an Ohio bar, but I think they're headquartered out of Ohio.
Why are you taking shots across about Rogue, bro?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying like 2 really cool things: LeBron and Rogue. I'm not no shots taken.
Okay, well that went really awkward for the culture. So, yeah. According to Bloomberg Business, this was breaking news not too long ago. Jerome Powell says, and I'm quoting here, the time has come, end quote, for the Fed to cut interest rates. So in his actual statements, he said, the time has come for policy to adjust, Powell said Friday
in the text of a speech at the Kansas City Fed's annual conference in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. The direction of travel is clear, and the timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. Sounds like he's saying it's still data dependent.
Yeah, exactly.
Without saying data dependent.
Well, I think what he's saying is it is going to be data dependent, and when I do, and we all, the FOMC together, decide to cut rates, best believe we're going to be citing that data that just came out and got revised downward by 818,000.
Yeah. So naturally, I do the absolute douchebag thing. I see on CNBC this announcement coming from Wyoming, Jackson Hole, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see it live because I was busy in meetings.
Wyoming or Kansas?
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Okay.
Come on, bro.
I thought it was Kansas. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, we got to work on your geography.
My bad.
Damn, boy.
You sure about this?
Yeah, I'm very sure about this.
Okay.
Something with the word Jackson and Hole in it. I know where it's at.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, have you seen Corey Feldman on stage, by the way?
I have not.
Oh, my God. It's like he's trying to replicate Michael Jackson, but he fakes playing the guitar. It's very strange.
Uh-huh.
You ever get bored, you can't sleep? That'll put you to sleep. You're welcome.
Okay.
Corey Feldman on stage on his music tour going on right now. Shout out to Corey.
Shout out to Corey.
We can probably get him on the podcast. In any event, so I see all this stuff in the news. I just got out of some meetings. I sit down in my office. I have a chair in the corner in the sun. I sit down and bask in the sun, and I think to myself, oh, my God, social media is going to be hot right now with all the real estate finance bros and all the real estate bros pimping out how rates are going to drop and the market's going to light on fire. So what do you got to do, Saied?
Oh, you got to buy now.
You got to buy now.
You got to lock in that rate.
You got to lock it in, baby. It's going down.
Yeah.
You got to do it because the market's going to blow up. You don't want to be in the tail end of it blowing up.
Oh, and we're going to get into some of this data a little bit later in the show, which they're definitely going to start citing.
Oh, yeah. So naturally, I did the complete douchebag thing and started commenting sassy comments on all the people that posted this saying that rates are going to drop for the mortgage industry. And it should be something that you all, as listeners of the show, know now. The mortgage rates in this country are strongly influenced by the 10-year Treasury.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in a yield curve inversion, which means that people think that the near-term investment is a better, more secure risk than the long-term investment. And the near-term investment for the inversion purposes is the 2-year Treasuries. So the 2-year Treasuries are actually priced higher than the 10-year Treasuries. That's an inversion. At some point in time, we have told you on the show multiple times that you're going to come out of that inversion. The 10-year Treasuries are going to be more valuable than the 2-year Treasuries and more certainty over the long run. And when that happens, mortgage rates are going to respond accordingly.
Mm-hmm. And that's what a healthy environment looks like.
Very normal, very healthy. And there are a lot of wonderful and brilliant economists out there, not green jacket wearing assholes like you who happen to win a Nobel and stuff like that, but whatever. And they're out there saying stuff like, you know what? All the Treasury activity is already priced into the market, Chris. So all this speak about rate cuts, the market already knows it's going to happen. And because it already knows it's going to happen, any responsive risks that you're going to see, any fallout in the economy, it's already priced in. The market's already saying this is going to happen. We know it's certainty. We know that Chicago Mercantile Exchange says that this is going to, the CME says this is a high probability of at least 25 basis points. We know that Bloomberg's World Interest Rate Probability says it's a high probability of 25 basis points. The market all knows it. So we're all pricing this activity in. So when they actually cut rates, you shouldn't see a whole lot of movement in the treasuries because it's already priced in.
Okay, and what are your thoughts on the matter?
They're absolutely high. Absolutely high. And there's lots of people I respect and love that have that opinion. And I've pinged one of them before. I was like, hey, man, like I don't understand why you feel this way. And this is a smart person, smarter than me.
Right.
And he was telling me that, you know what, look, I've seen this happen over 3 or 4 different recessionary economies. This is my feeling on the matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess on some level, it's all speculation. But I disagree wholeheartedly. I don't think it's priced in. I think the market's in complete denial. And I think you're seeing that by the Dow hitting highs again in the stock market.
Right. If there's anything that the Fed would want to accomplish during this pivot, during the third phase of this cycle, remember what we talked about. There's this whole cycle happens in 3 phases. They raise the rates, they're holding the rates, and now in the third phase, they're cutting the rates. If it were up to them, it will be a slow, gradual process.
Slow, gradual burn.
The same way they slowly raised the rates, minus those couple times where they raised it by 75 basis points, which was absolutely crazy, right? They would ideally like for this to happen very slowly. Now, the alarms on a recession have been ringing. The bells have been ringing, right? And there's real concerns, especially now with some of the data points that they were leaning on, right?
Like jobs?
Like jobs being completely revised, meaning like,
Whoopsies.
hey, we can hold rates higher because look, the labor market's doing great, right? But when stuff like that starts getting revised and now they're having to depend on, other data, there's no data for them to really lean on. So, yeah, right now we are in an inverted yield, right? With the 2 years being higher than the 10-year. And when that does come out, that means the 10-year is going to rise, to your point, meaning that perhaps rates even go up from here.
And I think that's a strong possibility. I do think that is my humble opinion that you're going to see them stay flat or go up slightly over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good, healthy outcome because you don't want it to go the other way. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit and why you don't want it to go the other way.
But let's just play devil's advocate here. Now, what if it doesn't go according to plan? You got the Spider-Man meme, right?
Which we need to put that out.
Yeah. Fed's pointing at the government like this is your fault. Government's pointing at the Fed like this is their fault, right? Because they don't actually work together, right? Even though we know that they do. Okay.
But they don't, though.
But they don't. Though clearly they're screwing each other over,
Yeah.
right? Now, if this does not go according to plan, and we do have a hard landing, we do get a hardy.
You know me.
There's certain times where hardies are good. Other times, not so good. Okay? Then what could happen? Could the 10-year drop if we hit a hard landing?
Yeah, it could.
And there's a major recession?
No, it certainly could. There's been some correlations historically to recessionary economies and the 10-year dropping like that.
But that's not what the mortgage bros are leaning on. That's not what they're citing.
No, because in order for that to happen, you would probably have that driven by home values going down. Mm-hmm. That's what would be the impetus for the yield curve to pivot in such a way where you saw the 10-year drop down and there's more uncertainty in the future. If home values are coming down, you're in a recessionary economy, what do? You say, shit, man, I'm worried about the near term. I got more confidence in the long term, and the 10-year will typically rise.
Yeah.
But if people start to lose confidence in the long term and start getting more confident in what's happening right now, which is what you're seeing in the market, the 10-year starts to drop. And that's where mortgage rates start to drop, right? Because people aren't locking in for the long term. It's a very interesting time. Look, I don't think anyone has a definitive answer. I can just tell you, based on my experience, there's one glaring problem. That's home values. And I think home values are still way too high. One of the properties in my neighborhood, it's an attached townhome, 3-bedroom, right? I don't know how many square footage. I probably should know, but it can't be more than like 2,200.
Okay.
$1.2 million just sold. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Like that's just insanely wild. You're talking no front yard, no backyard, attached townhome. Beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah.
But damn.
I actually wanted to get into this later in the show when we were going to get into some of the housing market data and why, a big problem here with this is it being inventory. And I want to get into some of the stuff with the home builders.
Yo, man, the home builders, the home building economists, the real estate economists, they've been coming out in full force, like arguing why correction can't happen. There's so much supply, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, let's say your data is right. Let's say you are correct about that. Then how do you see this playing out long-term for the economy, for the middle class? Like they all want to cite the reason why it can't happen, but they don't want to cite the repercussions if it doesn't happen.
Right. And I'm seeing more and more rhetoric now that there needs to be a little bit stronger regulation in this industry for the home builders. Because what's really the topic of conversation that's really starting to come around is the big dogs like D.R. Horton, Lennar, right? Mind you, both of them.
They artificially control the inventory on purpose.
Right.
It's 100% driven by intentional.
In the last 10 years, those two companies single-handedly alone have outperformed the S&P 500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they control the price by limiting the inventory in the market, the same way De Beers does with diamonds.
Right. The same way. So for our listeners out there, right? So for those of us that live in Southern California, just look at Irvine as a submarket in and of itself. I've always viewed Irvine as, you can't look at that and try to determine what's going on in the market because of the Irvine company in and of itself can control literally the whole market.
Fun fact: 2 years ago, Irvine led the country in rental increase rates.
Yeah.
Last year, or this year, I should say, they're in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still high up there. And this is an entire market essentially controlled by one company.
By one company. So now take that on a grander scale.
Yeah.
These larger corporations, right? It's almost like a monopoly, right? Where they're buying these mid-sized companies, construction companies, and they're now slowly releasing inventory. Why? Yeah, because they're doing what's best for their shareholder.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, so until they're regulated to either play fairly or not, or maybe it's cut off by regions, I don't even know how you even begin to regulate the space.
And someone will always argue, look, that's not capitalism, Chris. You can't do that.
Antitrust laws.
You're being a Democrat. No, this is not political, bro.
No, it has nothing to do with politics.
Let me tell you some fucked up things, and we'll make it not about housing. So people go, oh, that's right, that's fucked up. This is true. Okay, look. You can grow a lab-grown diamond right now that is indistinguishable from a real diamond.
Yeah.
The only difference is there's a microscopic little mark on the bottom of a lab-grown diamond to identify it as lab-grown.
Yeah.
Right?
That's not hyperbole, by the way. It's literally microscopic. You can only see it with a microscope.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me. I know fake diamonds when I see it, bro. And you get a fake diamond.
Yeah.
But I look at this and I think to myself, there really is no reason to buy a real diamond anymore.
Yeah, I think
there is no reason.
Tyrese?
Yeah, Tyrese Gibson. No real jewelry.
Bro, did you see that?
He got robbed. His housekeeper robbed him, and then he made racist ass jokes about it.
I didn't see the racist jokes. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
He was doing it in like Hispanic voice.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, so now you saw it, huh?
That part I saw. That part I did see.
I'm like, Tyrese, you can't do that.
I love how he was open and honest. He said, Are those diamonds real? He's like, no, they're not real.
So because he opened up so much about wearing fake diamonds and not spending money on real diamonds, you overlooked the racism that was in his comment.
No, because I was just yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's racist as hell, bro.
That wasn't so racist, but yeah, it was funny. It was hilarious.
I've done the Indian voice.
I think it was
on
satire.
This show.
I think it was satire.
The red dot, not the feather Indian, on this show. And you've been like, Chris, we got to edit that out. You can't do that.
I care about our pockets. I don't care about his pockets.
His pockets run deep.
Yeah. That Fast and Furious money is real.
I don't understand the franchise. I don't understand the franchise at all.
I know it's either that or it's Marvel movies. But okay.
What?
What do you mean? I mean, those are the popular movies, right? It's like Fast and Furious.
You can't put Fast and Furious in the same plane as Marvel.
Bro, they crush, bro. Every movie they put out, they crush, right?
Oh, they crush. I mean, they do all right. They're not like Marvel.
Not anymore. Now that Dwayne Johnson's probably done. But
Dwayne.
Yeah, The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let me finish
the diamond industry.
So there are enough diamonds in De Beers vault to pave every street in the United States.
Think about that.
Think that through. Coast to coast, every street in the United States. If they flooded the market with the actual inventory they had, it would deflate the value of real diamonds.
Yeah, because if more came online, then that makes the ones that are already out there less valuable.
Yet, despite the fact there are lab-grown diamonds, despite the fact that there are that many diamonds in their vaults, they control the supply, and despite all the alternative options out there, values for diamonds are still high.
And even with the bad press of they got the blood diamonds.
Oh, yeah.
All the bad press. And people are still like, no, I want my diamonds. Like how?
Everybody saw a Leonardo DiCaprio movie like, oh, damn, these conflict diamonds are real problems.
Yeah.
But I still want a real one.
Yeah.
I mean.
Women ain't getting enough hate for this.
I'm not going to go there, bro.
Well, okay.
We only got 24% of our audience is females, bro. We can't afford to lose one. All 5 of you guys need to stay in place.
Man, can you imagine if we wanted something that had blood on its hands? Can you imagine just for a second?
All blood diamonds, brother.
No, I know. You get what I'm saying, though. You don't know where it came from. Do you know? Does it come with the certificate?
I know where all my lab-grown diamonds come from.
There you go.
That being said, housing is no different.
Yeah.
Housing is absolutely no different. Yes, there's an existing inventory on the market. Yes, they're bringing new inventory to the market, but because they can control the inventory that they're releasing to the market, they don't want a repeat of 2007 where the home builders got crushed, right? Mm-hmm. Too much supply, values dropped, so they try to control the supply, which keeps values going up in part, right? Mortgage rates, the other part of it. It's a very complex matter, and people don't give it enough focus because they're looking at it saying, okay, well, the Fed's doing all these things for inflation, so it should impact all these things. Well, guess what? If the home builders are actively working against the Fed, it might not respond the way it traditionally does.
True.
And I don't think we're seeing that.
Yeah.
And
but what can people expect with that initial first rate cut, right? What can people expect to see? What kind of changes can they expect to see right away?
So right away, you're going to see your savings account rates drop pretty much across the country. There are some people who are going to hold rates for a little bit longer to try to drag in more deposits.
Mm-hmm.
Right away, you're going to see some pivots in the treasuries near term. Yeah, there will be a slight dip in treasuries when the optimism in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So you might see a better mortgage rate environment, which you're already seeing right now. That is actually being baked in already right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you're not going to see a huge drop, right, from where we're at today, but you'll see them kind of hold lower for a little bit longer. And mortgage rates have dropped, and it's had some responses and impacts to the housing market, which we'll get into. But certainly you're going to see that environment change almost overnight. But the rhetoric, the spin is going to be interesting. You've got a stock market which is still, for reasons that are still unclear outside of NVIDIA and the tech companies and AI and the hype,
Mm-hmm.
are still hitting new record highs every single month.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild, man.
It is wild. Yeah.
In the face of rate cuts, all these things, all the optimism that was already baked in. So I pulled this report. This comes from Yahoo Finance. Rate cuts that come with recessions aren't good for stocks. So right now the stock market's booming. But let's say the National Bureau of Economic Research declares what we've been in as a recession,
Mm-hmm.
which is still very much plausible and possible.
Yeah, I don't know. There's gonna need to be a lot of data that gets revised because there's not a lot of data that's been printed and accepted and digested by everybody.
Yeah.
For them to lean on, other than what happened January to June of 2022.
Yeah, 100%. And this is why the National Bureau of Economic Research doesn't come out on the front and during recessions. They always come out on the back end of recessions and say, yeah, we've been in a recession, because all this data is revised.
Yeah, Monday morning quarterback. Right.
Yeah. Guys, that was a shit game now looking back on it.
I don't know why they ran those plays. That's crazy that they ran those plays.
Why did we do that?
Yeah.
LeBron, who do you want to hire as the next coach?
yeah, exactly.
Your podcast host. By the way, Travis Kelce and his brother, after 90-something episodes, not even 100 episodes of the podcast,
Hey, let's be honest.
$100 million contract.
Can we be honest?
You need to date Taylor Swift. Okay?
Honestly,
That's on you, bro.
you know people that know Taylor.
I love your wife. She's wonderful.
Come on.
You need to make that happen.
Come on, Taylor.
You know what? We're Swifties.
Dude.
Is there a celebrity
she
like
like-
her that's available?
Was she like, and 10% for her manager? She's like, give me that 10%.
Jesus. All right, so this is from that same article. Okay, and I thought that this was a strong narrative to kind of give you some perspective, right? Now that the Fed Chair Jerome Powell has opened the door for a rate cut cycle to begin, economists have reasoned how deeply the Fed will cut in 2024 will largely depend on how the labor market holds up. Fair position, right? If the labor market holds up, then guess what? Then I think that you're going to have a consistent cutting cycle. But before he even cuts rates, and maybe the impetus for them cutting rates, you've already got a massive revision in the jobs, which is already pegged to be about 818,000 jobs going downward, the second largest revision in history.
Mm-hmm.
So there's already turmoil there. If the August jobs report due out in September 6th confirms that the labor market weakness in the July report may have been overstated, many economists argue that the Fed will begin a 25 basis point interest rate cut. And guess what? That's the consensus right now.
Yes.
If you don't get 25 basis points in September, honestly, Haroon should do the show with his shirt off.
No, that's happening. You're getting 25 basis points, okay? And, I mean, as much as I would love to see that, and people are still calling for his camera, bro.
I want to put it up. We should put it up before he gets back.
Just surprise.
Just surprise. He doesn't listen to the show anyway. He's not gonna know.
Dude, it's 23 minutes in. He ain't listening. He ain't hear this part.
Yeah.
But you're getting 25 basis points. Now, this is going to be the interesting thing. So, in the wake of the news of that 818,000 downward revision in the jobs data, right? That they said could be as much as even 1 million. The Fed, not the Fed, but the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, that collects this data for the government and, provides it for everyone to use and even for the Fed to rely on. They said that we need to recalibrate how we bring in this data. So it's going to be interesting when the next jobs report comes out and people need to start answering some questions about, so what have you done to recalibrate?
You know what's wild to me? I was thinking about this the other day because we do the show, for years now. And
that's wild to say that. We've done this show for years. Yeah.
And I was thinking of all the companies we've talked about that have laid people off. I mean, there are weeks we were coming in here just naming like 5-6 companies a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was going on for months and months and months. No media coverage.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "UTD, no big deal.
Not a big deal, yeah.
They're just, restructuring, managing profits." And I'm like, "No, man, we were right."
Yeah, we were dead right. Yeah.
And the jobs reports were bullshit. And there's lots of people who got, I mean, Zero Hedge had full-out articles about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting here looking at this stuff going like, God damn, there were so many clear signs that there was a problem that we had to wait until they said there was going to be a revision downward to acknowledge that was obviously a problem.
Which really makes me believe, I mean, put your conspiracy theory hats on, right?
Oh, I never take it off.
Right.
This is it.
This is it, yeah. It's
Yeah.
The black hat, it's always on, right?
Yeah, it's the Nike.
Yeah. It's them, they, the collective, if you will.
You people.
Yeah, them.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers. That are controlling the narrative. And they control the level of optimism and pessimism constantly, which sways markets.
Yeah.
And if they know that inflation's getting out of control and they're hiking interest rates at like a 20 some year, record level, right? It was a high, right? For like the past 22 years.
Mhm.
Then they know that a lot of pessimism can creep in, which could have all these inflated values come crashing down. So what needs to happen? Possibly some manipulated data to show things are still going well and fine.
Not possibly. Bureau of Labor Statistics is a government agency, bro.
That's what I'm saying. And they're clearly revising downward by nearly 1 million jobs. And we're out here and they have the audacity to be like GDP is doing great, but we know that credit card balances, we were citing it. Delinquencies keep going up.
Yeah.
Credit card balances are going up. GDP, it measures how much people are spending.
Yeah.
And just
average inflation is only 3%, guys, but your food is 20% up.
Yeah, but just because people are spending
Yeah.
does not mean that the economy is healthy.
Look at you pounding the mic, getting authoritative tonight.
It was just, for me, it was really frustrating because that if people are told things are fine, they're just going to assume things are fine and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, and that's the sad part is if you listen to the traditional media and you buy that rhetoric, you may have lived your life financially under the belief that, hey, it's going to get better. It's not going to impact me.
And we're going to get into later in the show why you cannot trust traditional media.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. Dirty, dirty, dirty pool.
Dirty birds, bro.
And there's also a whole cohort of people who are going in all of my DMs, by the way. Chris, I know you don't get political, man, but what a shocker.
Yeah.
They're cutting rates before the election.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, man, I know, but what would you rather have them do? I'd rather them be politically neutral and just hold rates longer. And I'm like, I don't think so.
I'm going to be honest. Cutting in September, like 1 month, right? Or 2 months before the actual election, okay? Feels like if it does happen and it's because you want to pin it to the current administration, hey, it's a little too late, bruh.
What administration? Kamala Harris is taking over.
Yeah, hold on. Is there really an administration in place right now? I don't feel like it.
I can't remember another time from an election perspective that it got this far into it. Number one, I've chosen to stay clear. Like, I don't even care. Like, vote for whoever you want. I do not give a shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Robert Kennedy, like co-signing Trump.
Bro, this was a wild week for your boy, not your real boy, but you know what I mean. For Trump, you had Robert Kennedy come out, Tulsi come out, and you got Zuck.
Yeah, Zuckerberg doing some weird shit. There's like a whistleblower or like some kind of lawsuit happening. There has to be a reason why he came out.
I don't understand, bro. There's so much about him that I don't understand.
We'll get back to that in a minute. Let's focus. Otherwise, we're never gonna finish this up.
Yeah.
So in other words, the Fed won't need to slash rates because of persistent signs the economy is weakening. And to many strategists, this remains the key thing investors should be focused on when thinking about Federal Reserve cuts. If the Fed cuts because the economy needs help, it hasn't been good for stocks. Research from Truist co-chief investment officer Keith Lerner, great name by the way, I'm the learner.
Exactly.
Right? Sent to clients on Monday shows that the S&P 500 was at least 11% higher a year after the first Fed interest rate cut dating back to 1989, as long as the economy remained on a solid footing. However, when the U.S. economy entered a recession in the following 12 months, so if they cut rates in September, the following 12 months, if we have a recession, the S&P 500 fell by at least 14% over the next year per Lerner's research.
Yes. So we know, because we talked about it on the show, 11 out of the last 14 times that the Fed has done this, it's caused a recession.
So the odds are not in your favor, America.
Yeah, and the other 3 times, and it's not like it's not even like they're intentionally trying to cause it. I mean, other than Volcker, right? He wanted that double dip.
He wanted a rule named after him.
He wanted a rule named after him. But it's incredibly difficult and requires a lot of luck to accomplish what the Fed is calling a soft landing.
Yeah.
Okay? In an ideal world, that happens. But we've talked about it. When the pendulum swings back the other way, it can't come to a screeching halt. It just keeps moving. The momentum is already there. Okay? Yeah. So what happens? What are they trying to do? When they were raising the rates, they were actively trying to slow down the economy.
Mm-hmm.
When they start cutting rates, what are they starting to see? They're seeing signs of weakening, so they're trying to stimulate the economy. Right? They see that there are problems ahead.
Yep.
So,
speaking of which, let's talk about one of those problems. I've been sent this by at least 3 or 4 real estate people. And look, shout out to people in the real estate business. I'm a little negative sometimes. I can be critical, but there's some very sophisticated, educated people in real estate. Not everybody's an asshole. Okay? I'm in real estate too. Mm-hmm. I am an asshole.
Yeah.
But not everybody's like me. This was sent to me today by somebody, Yahoo Finance. U.S. home prices hit a record high. Case-Shiller National Home Price Index and 20-city composite since 2000. All right, so the U.S. home prices started the summer at a record high, while the pace of price increases moderated slightly in June. The S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller National Home Price Index increased 0.2% over the prior month in June on a seasonally adjusted basis, less than 0.3% rise seen in May, but making a 5th straight monthly increase and an all-time high for the index. On an annual basis, prices nationally rose 5.4%, less than the 5.9% jump seen in May. The index tracking home prices in the 20 largest U.S. cities gained 0.4% in June from May, exceeding the Bloomberg consensus estimate of 0.3%, while matching May's monthly jump. The 20-city index rose 6.5% compared to last June. So the 20 top cities obviously grew more than the rest of the country on average.
Mm-hmm.
So the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller indices continues to show above-trend real price performance when accounting for inflation. Brian Luke, head of commodities, real and digital assets at S&P Dow Jones Indices, wrote in a statement.
Okay. So in addition to that, I also looked up some Redfin data because we do like their data too. I think what the important thing to take from this, because their data is painting a slightly different picture, but in the same context.
Mm-hmm.
Things are slowing down. It's different. It's different than what it was over, the first half of the year.
Yeah.
They're actually showing that home prices are down 0.6% month over month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is an interesting paradigm.
But if you look back over the 12-month cycle from, from June to July in 2022, in 2023, and now in 2024, and all those years when we've been seeing nothing but growth, from June to July, there's been a slight dip. And that's a seasonality issue, right? Mm-hmm. So I do think that, I don't know, it's tough to see where this goes because supply has increased by 17%, which we know that is the thing that's really needed right now in addition to, affordability. We need wages to go up. They need rates. So they need a combination of everything, mm-hmm. right? Because there's no one thing that's really going to help this whole issue.
And we haven't spent enough time talking about how homeowners insurance has gone through the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wildly expensive in some places to get homeowners insurance now.
Yeah, I know, man. And it makes you wonder, what do they do? They're clearly having issues. They're not even providing policies to some states.
Yeah, if you're in a fire hazard,
mm-hmm.
then they just might not even provide it to you. If you're in flood zones, in some cases, if you had a recent flood or you're mm-hmm. prone to flooding, they're not going to do that. If you're in a hurricane wind coverage area, it's been a problem.
Yeah. So doing some more digging on this topic for the show, mm-hmm. right? For our listeners out there that are really, really praying for a housing market crash, right? You're not gonna get or see what happened in during the Great Financial Crisis.
No, I don't think that's
2008, 2010, real. Right?
But you could get a 1981 prolonged slow correction over time.
I mean, for those out there that are looking, and that would be an ideal situation for them, right? But here's the issue with that. Back in 2008, 2009, 2010, what really led the way was foreclosures, right? That's what helped adjust those prices, right? Over the first 6 months of each of those years, they were averaging more than 1 million foreclosures.
Yeah.
Just for the first half of the year for 2008,
Which is wild.
2009, 2010. To put things into perspective for us now, currently, the first 6 months of this year, 177,000.
Yeah, nothing.
So nothing, right? So if that's what you're hoping for, you're probably not going to get it.
Yeah, and the stigma around commercial real estate seems to be largely overblown at this point in time.
What was that exactly?
People were thinking that the office sector was just going to get absolutely hammered, and there's a lot of discounts and a lot of properties coming due, and there's still a lot more to happen there. I think office is going to change, but work from home is kind of dying a slow death. People thought it was a new normal, but I think a lot of companies have pivoted big time, and they're at least doing hybrid.
Yeah.
I think efficiency, productivity has dropped off in some ways, and in some different ways it's thrived being at home. It really comes down to industry sector, business type.
Yeah.
And I think that that's not been as painful to the office sector as we thought it was going to be. I think there's still a big shift coming there, but people were saying that multifamily was going to get hammered. It's just not happening unless you're a luxury, high-end, and overbuilt market. Think west coast of Florida, for example. Think some parts of Texas, Austin, great example. They were flooded with high-end luxury apartments, and guess what? People don't always want to pay for high-end luxury apartments, you know?
Right.
And if there's too many choices in the market, what do? You reduce your rent to be competitive, and then rents go down.
Right, and then what happens to those people that have loans that, for those properties that have to now reduce their rents?
Yeah.
There's
a lot of people who are buying properties that were not high-end and then just remodeling the existing property, keeping the infrastructure, adding granite countertops, adding features like a dog park and a gym, going, well, you know what, now I can charge $200 or $300 more a month for rent for this unit because it's a luxury.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't getting it. And because they were underwritten to pro forma or like future or earning potential, and people are like, oh, this would be a great deal because it would have a great value if they can get these rents, if it can achieve these rents. Well, they didn't or can't, and that value is not what they thought it was going to be, and they're like, shit, how do we bring cash into this deal? Do we sell it? Like, what do we do? And a lot of people are trying to figure that out right now. But that's only in certain sub-markets. Not all markets were impacted like that. I think a lot of it was overblown hype, and we haven't seen a lot of the defaults happen there.
But I mean, it still remains to be seen, right? I mean, a lot could still go south for some office spaces.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
Because if a recession really does hit, and let's say it is a hard landing and it's a deep recession, right? And
every time you say the word recession, I think of Nouriel Roubini going, recession.
Oh, yeah, and we don't talk about him.
I know,
anymore.
it still hurts.
Yeah, we broke up with him.
Yeah.
But I mean,
why Nouriel?
People who have that office space.
You know he's tied with Muhammad Al-Rain, right?
He has to be.
They're like homies.
As they should be.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was Nouriel, I'd be homies with him too.
Your mustache, you must get to all the ladies.
Come on, former CEO of PIMCO, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now a teacher at Cambridge. Tough life.
That guy's resume is.
Yeah.
Anyways,
better than mine.
Like you got the people that have loans against those buildings. Those are variable loans, right? They're going to have to refinance, and at some point, if they have a shit ton of vacancies,
commercial real estate loans are almost never fixed. They're usually an adjustable rate mortgage, usually 3, 5, or 7, in some cases 10-year product. There are pure adjustable ones. There are 15-year products out there, but generally speaking, 3, 5, or 7, or 10.
Yeah. So people might get some deals on some office buildings.
Yeah, I think that's still a possibility in the economy, but let's pivot a little bit to the changing landscape of the political environment and some things you may have seen on non-traditional media like social media, shall we?
Oh, let's go.
So August 26th, which, kids, was yesterday. We're recording this on Tuesday, August 27th.
Let me just ask you a question.
Yeah.
You want me to read this for you?
I think I got it.
You got it?
I think I got it.
All
He
right.
didn't use any big words, did he? Yeah,
No,
all right.
no.
So
You're not wearing your glasses. That's why I said it.
I know the CEO, Mark Zuckerberg of Meta, wrote a letter to the Honorable Jim Jordan, chairman of the Committee of the Judiciary of the United States House of Representatives. And well, if you haven't seen it yet, this is going to confirm a lot of your suspicions that social media's messaging may be controlled by outside factors, like the FBI, like politics.
Like lobbyists. Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of the concerns that you may have about, hey, wait a minute, all this stuff I'm reading just seems to be weird or it's not being covered in the same way. Well, guess what? Even non-traditional media like social media, which is now the new normal media, is controlled, according to the one and only man, Mark Zuckerberg. Chairman Jordan, I appreciate the committee's interest in content moderation on online platforms. As you are aware, Meta has produced thousands of documents as part of your investigation and made a dozen employees available for transcribed interviews. Further, to our cooperation with your investigation, I welcome the opportunity to share what I have taken away from this process.
Sounds all fine and dandy so far.
Yeah, it just sounds like, hey, bro, I got an update for you, dog.
Yeah.
My guy.
I'm here to cooperate.
Yeah.
I've been a good, person.
I'm a steward.
Yeah.
Steward of freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not guilty.
Yeah, I'm a law-abiding citizen.
I'm innocent, man. I'm innocent.
Yeah.
Remember Snoop Dogg getting arrested on stage? Yeah. There is a lot of talk right now around how the U.S. government interacts with companies like Meta. And I want to be clear about our position. Our platforms are for everyone. We're about promoting speech and helping people connect in a safe and secure way. As part of this, we regularly hear from governments around the world and others with various concerns around public disclosure and public safety.
This sounds like the objective portion of a resume.
I mean,
this is what our objective is.
he's laying it on thick, but the next paragraph starts in uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly.
In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree.
Bro, you can't come out and say pressured without letting me know what kind of pressure are we talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what kind of threats were sent your way?
Yeah. It's
spicy over there.
It's a kick right in the groin.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today.
With the benefit of hindsight 3 years later? Dog, are you for real?
Y'all caught me, shit.
Though the audacity to be able to write and think like, hey, it's going to be cool after I put this out.
He's letting it out there. You know,
I got so many theories.
sometimes you just got to fart in the wind.
I got so many
You know what I mean? Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. So, yeah.
If something like this were to happen again. Okay. First question for you. All right. Do you forgive somebody like
Nope.
this? No, like you don't get a second chance with this.
Well, let's talk about second chances, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. In a separate situation.
You like that, Tia?
I do. It's so good. The FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election. That fall, when we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving then Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's family, we sent that story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. We've changed our policies and processes to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the U.S. while waiting for fact checkers, but you do in other countries?
Bro, this is so bad for him in so many ways.
Wait, so you demote it in all other countries but the U.S.? You only said the U.S.?
Right.
Just a little curious statement there.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't do it while temporarily waiting for fact checkers. And who are your fact checkers if the FBI is telling you this is a Russian disinformation campaign?
Right. That's a valid
Like,
point.
who are you going? The CIA?
Yeah, you got better fact checkers than them?
I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense. And so you're basically saying the FBI came to you and said this is a Russian disinformation campaign, and your fact checkers came back and said the FBI is lying to you?
Bro, like if he doesn't have to go in front of Congress and testify and explain
testify again,
and
Yeah.
they have to explain all this. Wait, do you remember the last time he was there and how he had to turn around and wave and apologize to the families?
Here's what I want him to do. I want him to come in with that Maui tan, hair all froed up.
Bro, what is with the fro and why is he intentionally rocking the chain?
The chain
out?
is dope, bro.
Bro, who
Let it
are
hang.
Zuck? Who are you?
Let it hang.
Bro,
Let your real you free, bro.
that's a hold on. That's a
Yeah.
choice, bro.
I hope it's a Jackson chain too.
He's not, bro. He's too big. Jackson chain from Instagram.
Shout out to my guy Bear. What's up,
Yeah.
Jackson?
Hey, Jay, you want to sponsor the pod? I'll rock a Jackson chain.
I don't want to do it.
Come on.
I won't do it.
You won't do it?
Huh?
You won't do it for a spot?
Nah.
Come on, don't be like that,
Chain's like $5, bro.
bro.
I'm gonna need at least $20 chain
we
for
say
sponsorship.
we say Riz. You know what the boys are talking about the Riz.
I don't think I've seen a Jackson like even though they were all over social media for a while.
There, yeah.
You could not go on social media without seeing somebody rocking a Jackson chain, like, holding it up, going like, "Hey, man, it doesn't turn green." Like, how many chains you wear that turn green, bro? Like, this is a constant problem for you.
Bro, the other day I saw Michael B. Jordan rocking a David Yurman chain, right?
Yeah, it's a bit different price category.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I've seen some David Yurman stuff where I was like, oh, that's kind of fly, but I'm not really a chain guy.
A wedding ring is David Yurman,
I like, yeah.
the one I never wear.
Right, yeah, we rock the rubber
Silicone.
silicone ones. I was like, that's kind of fly. I'm like, and I just checked out. I was like, I mean, how much could this be?
It's a lot.
Bro, the one that he was wearing was like 30 grand. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what am I doing? Get out of
Yeah,
here.
30 grand, bro.
Yeah, real diamonds.
Yeah, diamonds are forever.
Yeah,
Unless they're made by De Beers.
right. So back to your boy Zuck.
So
So many questions.
just when you thought it was over, strike three.
Yeah.
Apart from content moderation, I want to address the contributions I made during the last presidential cycle to support electoral information infrastructure. Was there any part of the U.S. you didn't fuck around with?
Seriously, dude.
Zuck, you know?
Yeah.
The idea here was to make sure local election jurisdictions across the country had the resources they needed to help people vote safely during a global pandemic. When did Meta's job become to provide resources so that you can vote safely during the global pandemic? Why are you even in that space?
This is not your.
Just show me pictures of my friends' kids, man.
No one's gonna hold you accountable for not providing this.
Yeah, show me somebody doing some stupid ass dance to a song I don't like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Become TikTok, right?
Yeah, just
I wish you could become TikTok so we wouldn't have TikTok.
I don't need Meta to be the humanitarian help. Okay, you're not Angelina Jolie. Stop.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Right. So, wait. So many questions.
It's not done.
There's more?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But wait, there's more. I made these contributions. Jesus.
The fact that he put his name on this. Did you read this?
Yeah,
Son?
he put his name on it. I made these contributions to the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. They were designed to be nonpartisan, spread across urban, rural, and suburban communities. Still, despite the analysis I've seen showing otherwise, I know that some people believe this work benefited one party over the other. Let me read that sentence again because it's hilarious when you think about it. Still, despite the analyses I've seen showing otherwise, despite the data that people are showing me that shows that this did not work the way I said it worked, I know some people believe this work benefited one party or the other. That's because the data says that it did.
Yeah, it clearly did, bro. What do you mean? Of course it influenced behavior.
Yeah. My goal is to be neutral and not play a role one way or the other. Then why are you doing it at all? Why are you trying to help people with the election at all? Don't help people with elections.
Don't even talk about election. Say
Or to even appear to be playing a role, so I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. Respectfully, Mark Zuckerberg, founder, chairman, CEO of Meta Platforms, Inc.
Meanwhile, he was recently interviewed. I don't even know on which platform, and he came out and said, "This time around, like he wrote in this, that I'm not going to be picking a side. But I will say that the most badass thing I ever saw was when Trump got shot in the face and he stood up there and held up his fist. I'm like, I mean, that's an endorsement, bro. Like, you can't talk like that as a CEO of a company.
So a lot of people think that the reason why he wrote this letter was because Trump has had a very aggressive stance against what social media did to him whenever he was running for president the first time. And that's what True Social and how some of that came about for him. So that because they're fearing that, he's either going to win or he's just going to endorse Trump. They're trying to align their company with a rhetoric where Trump can get behind him again and support one another.
There's that theory.
Yeah.
There's also another one.
The whistleblower theory.
There's so many theories.
Yeah.
We'll get into that one too, because that's going to segue right perfectly into the next portion of this show. But there's also the theory that, look, he clearly has shown that he has data points that can show what sways elections and where the true polls are at.
Yeah. From the White House, the FBI. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. And just forget however many millions of users use his platform.
This is why he built that bunker. I'm going to call the White House and the FBI out. I need to
100%.
hide.
So what if your boy Zuck is seeing... Who is Zuck loyal to? What is his main concern in life?
Money.
Thank you, sir. Right? His shareholder, right?
Yeah.
His stock price, right?
Yeah.
His entire net worth?
Yep.
Okay, so if he sees the data points that just showcasing, who's going to be our next president?
Yeah. Kiss that ring, boy.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm trying to take this company to the next level.
Yeah.
Right? And look, I know he's looking at Trump. I know we started off on bad terms.
You don't like the FBI?
Yeah.
I don't like the FBI.
Look, I know I fucked you last time. Look.
You said the White House is bullshit. I agree with you. Let me put out a letter saying it's bullshit.
Look. We had a bad first date. It's okay. Look, I'm willing to make amends.
I look like this because I'm trying to court you.
Right?
I changed my look for you.
Exactly. I know you don't get this from Barron, but look, I'll be that son that you wish you had. I'll be the cool one.
I got a tan for you, Trump. That's why I did this to me.
Right. Look, clearly I saw from the footage, Secret Service didn't have your back, but I do jujitsu. I got you.
Yeah. No disrespect. I'm building a bunker just in case you fuck up, though.
Honestly, I'm a yellow belt.
Is he a yellow belt?
Yeah, bro, he's like won tournaments. He's like the real deal.
No, I know.
Yeah, he'll whoop your ass.
He broke like his leg or something, his knees or something.
Yeah, and he's back at it still.
Is he really?
Savage.
Yeah, speaking of back at it, what's going on with you? Are you ever going to...
We're gonna... Yeah, I'm easing into this. This was a real scare, bro. A real
You already
scare.
did the BBC, allegedly.
Yeah, no, but bro, you don't understand. Like,
You still taking BBC now? I told you to keep taking it?
no, I didn't, because I'm fine now. I don't
You're not fine, bro. Keep taking it.
But my whole thing is this: is just like that fear. Like, I don't know if you've ever had a tight Achilles.
Yeah, I have, man.
I don't know.
Very tight, like tiger.
Tight, like, yeah. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
But back to that real quick. If he knows that it's a clear landslide win, then of course he's gonna start endorsing and helping the other side because, like, I'm gonna play ball. I've seen plenty of mafia movies, bro.
Yeah, all the mafia movies.
This is how this shit plays out.
Yeah, it's true. I don't want to be that guy. But
Meanwhile, you got, bro. We're already getting flagged for this. We already talked politics.
yeah, we're already.
Yeah. Trump's literally taking sound bites from Kamala now and using it for his own. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Did you? He's like, she's talking about inflation and how price has gone up, and then he cuts it off midstream. And this message is sponsored by Donald Trump.
It's gonna. So this is why I haven't paid attention to any election stuff. I don't care. I do not care who wins. I am what Meta Platforms wants to be.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who legitimately doesn't give a shit one way or the other.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Knock yourself out. Y'all corrupt.
Yeah. So that's why you just can't be trusting any of these.
Well, of course, there was a theory of the whistleblower.
What was that theory?
That somebody from Meta is going to blow the whistle on all the things that Meta was doing, i.e., taking direction from the White House, taking direction from the FBI, and that there was somebody who was going to be outspoken about it. So just to get ahead of it, he decided that he was going to blow the whistle on himself and tell the world in a letter that was documented and obviously released to the public.
I mean, there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered, though.
A lot of questions need to be answered, but if you get out in front of it and you destigmatize it when you answer those questions, it's because you brought it to the world's attention and now people are asking you versus when somebody else rats you out.
Mm-hmm.
The optics, not so good. But little did I know, there is actually quite a substantial amount of money in whistleblowers.
Okay.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Did you know you can make a career out of this?
Not a career.
Did you know? Oh, yeah, career, brother.
Stop it.
Did you know you could make millions?
Okay.
Millions.
Hey, that's a lot of thousands.
It's a lot of thousands. I did not know this was a thing. If you would have told me this is a thing, I would have been like, this is some bullshit out of a movie.
Multiple?
Yeah. So I was reading an article in GQ because it had a sensational title. how to make millions as a professional whistleblower.
I want to make millions.
And I'm like, I want to do that. Like, is Grant Cardone on this course, or like, how do I get it? Right? Like, is this a Pace Morby course?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not Alex Hormozy, obviously.
Yeah,
Right?
clearly.
It's not motivational enough. So I decided I was going to read it. And the first 3 paragraphs said everything you need to know. And, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell everyone. I'm going to read the 3 paragraphs. And I'm going to tell everybody my thoughts. But I want y'all stealing this. This is my idea. I'm doing this. Fuck you guys.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Richard Overum is not a member of law enforcement or a government official. Oh, Dick. He's something else, a rarefied practitioner in a line of work he's all but created for himself. Are you emotionally engaged now?
I'm engaged, yeah.
Yeah.
He did this by himself.
He hunts business people he suspects are breaking the law, a job that by virtue of the oft overlooked sections of the federal law can end up paying remarkably well. I did not know this. And the act that this came out of is the Dodd-Frank Act. And I'll read more about that in a minute.
Oh, wow.
An act you and I know very well.
Yeah, I mean, it heavily impacts the banking industry.
Yeah. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
So, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Tucked into the Dodd-Frank Act, which Congress passed in the wake of the Bernie Madoff scandal and the economic calamity of the late aughts, i.e. the Great Financial Crisis, are provisions meant to encourage people who spot signs of potential financial wrongdoing to come to the government with information. You dirty rat. The incentive? You ready? This is mind-blowing. If the agencies take enforcement action based on a tip resulting in sanctions in excess of $1 million. So if they fine a company in excess of $1 million, okay, the law says one or more whistleblowers can earn an award equal to 10 to 30% of what's collected.
Stop it.
Yeah. So if it's $1 million or more, and let's just say it's just $1 million, $1,000,001,
Yeah.
you can get between $100,000 and $300,000,
Bruh.
right? For just blowing the whistle, for doing what Too Short did back then.
Yeah, but you gotta be knee deep in understand. I mean, how are you gonna prove that it's over $1 million? You gotta really have some deep knowledge about a company.
Well, Saied, would you like to know how deep you need to go?
Yeah.
Would you like to know how lucrative this could be?
Please do.
Would you like to know why your next career should be a professional whistleblower?
Let's go.
Well, that's what the higher standards here for.
Yeah.
To lower your emotional standards high enough so that you can do this without having a conscience. Whistleblower programs were established as the SEC, a Securities Exchange Commission, and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, to manage and investigate tips. And the calculus for awards depends on multiple factors, including the value of the information in making the case. But the payouts can be enormous. Me personally, when my payouts come about, I like it when they're enormous.
You like when they're enormous? Yeah.
That's an adjective that often is used with me,
Mm-hmm.
but not often used enough in my payouts.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I mean, me too.
Yeah. They're not enormous.
Right.
Yeah, they should be,
It should be.
but they're not. Recent cases have rewarded SEC whistleblowers with $29 million, $38 million, and $104 million. Some asshole made $104 million off this shit.
What are we doing?
Last year, the SEC cut its biggest check, issuing a payout of $279 million to one tipster who reportedly aided in a bribery case involving the Swedish telecom Ericsson that resulted in a more than $1 billion settlement. All this person did was go, shit, that's illegal. Hey, SEC, Ericsson doing some illegal shit. Yeah, I'm going to give you some documents because I read them. All right, bye, click. Hey, whistleblower. Yeah? You called us, right? Yeah. Here's a check for $279 million.
Well, hold on. So how does this work if you are an employee of a... So that person's an employee of a company. I mean, are there no, NDAs? Like you can't. Can you really just provide?
Whistleblower laws allow you to circumvent NDAs. You have no non-disclosure requirements.
Wild.
Yeah. If someone's doing some illegal shit that results in a big problem like this.
So this Richard guy, he's getting hired, and then he's just
No, he's not even hired. He's going to dinners and shit with these people, trying to bait them into telling him.
he's just every day of the week going to dinners and hey, you got any dirt on your company?
I'll give you some color. You want some color?
I want some color.
Okay, well, before I do that here. Between the start of the program in 2011 and the end of the fiscal year of 2023, so 12 years, the SEC has levied more than $6 billion in sanctions and paid out close to $2 billion to whistleblowers.
$2 billion to whistleblowers?
Overrun share, okay?
Mm.
Just how much do you think he's made?
I mean, $200 million? I don't know.
Tens of millions of dollars, he says, between funds collected and those still pending.
Pending.
Tens of millions of dollars, Saied.
Man.
Tens of millions.
But this is he's putting a target on his back too, though. Right?
I mean,
like he's walking around like his shit don't stink. You better be traveling around in that bulletproof Maybach.
I'm just saying, dude. For some time now, Overrum has been compiling intel on Mike King, a real estate developer whose seemingly ostentatious lifestyle and possibly deceptive business practices have raised Overrum's suspicions. And so, under an assumed name, Overrum has approached King about making an investment with him, a covert attempt at soliciting more information about his assets and maybe uncovering signs of a potential fraud. They've been texting and chatting about the possibility of getting into business together, and tonight have decided to continue discussions in person. Overrum has permitted me to watch him work, but there's a catch. In order to not blow his cover, I'll need to be undercover too. I have to play one of his business partners, another potential investor. Of course, knowing my part isn't enough, I have to look it. For Overrum, sartorial embellishment is another part of the tradecraft, i.e. costumes. He has to look rich. In the days prior, I'd cobbled together my nicest pair of jeans, a tailored button-down shirt that was gifted to me 10 years ago, and I'd even gotten my shoes shined at the airport on the way in, but I needed something more. Have a seat, Overrun tells me, as he unzips a black backpack and produces two high-end watches. This is an Omega Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon. Great watch, by the way.
Wow. And
this one is a Zenith DeFi Classic, he says. Let's see which one fits. I slip one on. It looks great, Overrum says. You'll do great. Are you nervous, he asks. Yes, I admit. But as I look at Overrum, he seems self-possessed, poised, almost. It's as if all this, meeting King under false identity, preparing to expound at length upon business opportunities he has no real intention of investing in, is just another day at the office.
Yeah.
And that's probably because it is.
So comfortable just doing it.
Yeah.
Just done it time and time again.
Okay, he says, as we prepare to leave the hotel room, time to go to work.
Wow. Just slanging Omegas and Rolexes.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, who would have thought?
By the way, his real name is not Richard Overrun.
No, yeah, I was going to say, clearly an alias. Yeah.
It's a false alias he might use in the field.
Come up with a better alias, though, you know? Like, have some fun with it.
You want to know what Richard Overrum really comes from?
Yeah.
This is great. What I can tell you about Richard Overrum is that his name is not Richard Overrum. That's kind of the alias he might use in the field. Richard Overrum is a play on Dick Over Them.
Never mind. Amazing alias.
He tells me.
Dick Over Them is so
While
good.
we're together, Overrum used another alias, a moniker that I can't reveal because he's currently using it in yet another case, but I can tell you that it's also phallic. He uses dick jokes.
I love it. I mean, this guy, we got to have him on, bro. Come on.
So your aliases are all dick jokes, I ask him. He chuckles. That's right. Though not a dick joke. Mike King is also a pseudonym, so that's not his real name.
Man.
Yeah. So
there's a career out there.
So to put it in perspective, the vast majority of people providing tips to whistleblower programs do so only once in their lifetime. Usually they're at a job and they say this is wrong or I'm taking advantage of, and they blow the whistle once. That's their own. It only happens to most people once in their lifetime. They rarely get pushed to that extent, and when they do it once, and that's it. They move on.
Mm-hmm.
They are not, as Overum is, repeat customers. Over the course of his career, Overum says that his tips, which can include hundreds of pages of evidence, have led to various regulatory agencies, including the SEC, taking action approximately 90 times. An SEC spokesperson declined to comment on Overum's claim, citing the agency policy to not remark on the existence or non-existence of a possible whistleblower submission.
Mm.
Crazy, right?
Wild. That's good.
Yeah. He's even got his own.
Richard Overum needs to have a movie made after him.
And he's made this a business.
Honestly.
So this article in GQ of all
better
places.
Be writing a book.
Fucking GQ. He set up a way to contact him to recommend tips to him for him to look into for him to make more money.
Oh, through GQ?
Yeah. Overum has also created an email tip line that he operates, activist whistleblower at proton.me. Spreading it through his network of lawyers and confidants. Lately, he's been looking for potential targets on social media.
Oh, let's go.
Lately, because what was he doing before? I was looking at targets in the news. Oh, man. If he sees people posing on Instagram with yachts, say, or cars that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars while also trying to raise money, he says bells immediately go off. They just seem too good to be true, says Overum. He notes that he pursues so many accounts focused on ostentatious living that his algorithm is now flooded with images of absolutely over-the-top lifestyles, themselves worthy of further investigation. I found so many leads this way, he says.
Love it.
This is a very long article, by the way.
I love it. I love every
very,
bit
very
of it.
long article, and I haven't even touched the surface of it. So if you think that we gave it all of you, not even close.
Yeah, check the show notes. Check the show notes if you want to dive deeper.
Yeah, it is a wildly long article, and I'll tell you, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a full read.
And I'll tell you right now, I want to do this for a living. I'm dead ass serious, as the kids say. Dead ass.
Dead ass?
Yeah. Alpha.
You want to go? Let's go.
Huh?
I'm down. Let's do this.
I honestly want to I want to make a career out of hunting down. Now, the problem with going on social media is that not all these people are like publicly traded. It's not SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm kind of under that. But syndicators like Grant Cardone are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We know exactly what to look for.
But can you imagine if we did that for a living? If we scoured the internet looking for people doing like bad things.
Yeah.
And started literally not like Baller Busters-esque where they're like calling people out and doing that kind of stuff, but like legitimately reporting people.
Yeah, behind the scenes
on the low
to the right officials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, if we had one that paid out $10 million,
bro, that's a great service.
Yeah, we're doing that's good living.
Right.
I'm basically Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Batman.
Yeah.
That's what I am now.
Yeah.
We'll come here at night.
If you ever,
we'll get a bunch of gadgets and shit together.
We always keep this studio.
We'll go home with our eyes like with black stuff around
We can't upgrade the studio because then it's a tell.
Right? Oh yeah, you can't do that.
No, we don't need. There won't be need to anymore.
All phallic joke names. That's us.
Right. This guy's living out our wildest dreams right now.
My name's Richard Burns.
Bro, I'm watching. Okay, so on quasi on this topic. Okay, these kids on social media are getting so confident and are giving less fucks every single day. Right? I'm sure you've seen the ones that are going around giving like these phallic names to like, I'm looking for my brother, and they give the name and they're calling on the intercom. Okay, and they get caught, and it's funny. It's like this play on The Simpsons back in the day.
I don't find those that funny, to be honest with you.
It's not that funny. But now they're getting crazy. So I saw a kid the other day walk up to an older gentleman working. I want to say it was at Target. Okay, and he's like, "Hey, can you help me find this product? Can you follow me over here?" And the older gentleman working at Target, earning an honest living, just minding his own business.
Yeah, I don't like this. I already don't like it. Okay,
takes him down to another aisle, finds another older lady there. And says, "Hey, my friend's really shy, but he thinks you're really cute. You want to talk?" And he's filming it, and the guy's looking at him like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" Yeah, bro. These kids are getting out of control. Another one. Clearly, social media is blowing up, right? And they're seeing these random people giving away stuff. They're inside, let's say, a Walmart, and the kid's looking to buy, like, let's say, some AirPods. He gets some AirPods, and then he's walking to the register. They didn't actually take it up front for him. They hand it to him so he can go out and buy it. right? Maybe he didn't meet the certain dollar threshold. So he goes and he now acts like he's interviewing someone in a random aisle, like let's just say Mr. Beastwood, right? And he's like, "Congratulations, you've just won a pair of AirPods."
No, why?
And then they go, "Oh my God, thank you so much."
That's wrong.
And then they walk out of the store and the alarms go off and they're filming the whole thing. I'm like, bro, these kids are getting.
You got to watch it because some of the stuff is staged too. Like
No, bro. The people that it's happening to, I know some of the stuff is staged, but
Yeah.
you're like, this poor innocent lady, man. Like, come on.
But that's the problem is we've gotten to this point where sensationalism is the only thing that really draws attention anymore.
I know.
And people try to do all this. You know what bothers me the most?
What?
I could live with all that stuff. Like if you guys are desperate doing weird shit, like the guys who like mess with gangbangers and stuff by like
We
throwing
talked-
around
we
signs and
talked
stuff like
about
that. Like
yeah, that's
that guy. I mean, whatever. Okay.
Top notch or
The
something.
ones that bother me the most is we've now gotten so desensitized to OnlyFans content that a lot of these girls will go on like podcasts like Fresh and Fit and these podcasts and know they're going to just get railed as far as like the commentary against them.
Mm,
But they're like, I'm appealing to a bunch of people who are going to come check out my content anyway
mm.
because they're going to want to see what I'm about.
It's a numbers game, yeah.
It's a numbers game, right? But then you're seeing like people posting day in the life vlogs of like, I'm a day in the life vlog of an OnlyFans creator. Come follow me. And they're just like popping up in your feed because it looks like wholesome content of like someone like just checking like daily life.
Yes.
And then you're like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's now gotten to a point where there used to be a stigma attached to like being in that industry where you're like, I don't want anybody to know.
Right.
And now you're like, I want everybody to know.
Exactly. There's no shame anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to self promote. I'm going to put it all out there. And I get it. It's marketing, it's hype, but they're now owning it in a weird way. But then it's like, what's the next level?
I mean, how much thought have you put into this? Okay, we've reached the hour and 11-minute mark.
Yeah.
We can go. We're not playing. There's no agenda here. I'm genuinely asking.
That means you got an agenda.
No, there's no agenda here.
Okay.
Because then you paint me out to be like I have an agenda, but this is where my mind goes.
Okay, fine, go.
How much thought have you given into how will you present these things and talk about these things with Carter one day?
Oh, my son?
Yeah.
Man,
Like, have you, has it, I know you, obviously there's still time, right, to think it over, but have you given it much thought? Like,
what, like porn with my son? Or
no, like just society and the world that he's going to be living in and what he will be exposed to, right? And
I don't think you can, it's changing so fast. I mean,
you can't just sit back and watch and see what happens and like expect him to know how to navigate.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I don't know that I'm going to know how to navigate the world in 5 years. The world is changing at a much faster cadence than it did when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the technology that's available to these kids is so wildly. It still blows my mind to this day that you have a personal television in your pocket at all times. You have access to every book ever written, ever, digitally.
Mm-hmm.
You can listen to books. You can read books. You can Google any question. You can literally just ask Siri a question.
You can't listen to that one Wu-Tang album, though.
No, you can't. That one Wu-Tang album is off the internet. But for the most part, you can access any bit of information you want. Now, you've got to be able to parse through what's real, what's not real.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at things like AI. There's a whole cohort now of people making content that is entirely AI generated. There's an entire subcategory of people saying, okay, this person's body is very similar to, name an actress, Jenna Ortega.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know who that is.
She's the girl from Beetlejuice. She was the girl from Wednesday Addams in the new series.
Okay.
She's fantastic character actor, but she's young.
Okay.
Right? But people have like these weird fetishes, and she's, of age, but they're going to take her body or somebody else's body in the nude, put her face on it digitally.
Yeah.
And make it seem like it's her doing something that she's clearly not doing.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that with your kids? Because it used to be you had to convince somebody to send you a naked photo of themselves. Seriously. And think this through. And then you would be like, oh, now I'm going to blackmail you because you sent me something stupid.
Yeah.
But now they don't need that. Now they can say, okay, look, this body looks similar to this person's body. Let me just put their face on it and send them a photo of them doing something.
Yeah, you could create something. Yeah, it's
If that goes out to a kid's school,
game over. Yeah.
like how do you say that's not me? It's not me. It's AI.
And even if it's not, like the kids are gonna take it and run with it, and they're gonna believe what they want to believe. Right?
Yeah, and if you're not in the position to, I mean, it could blow over easily, or it could not blow over easily, right?
Right.
And this
So
works.
I had to have this conversation with my son over the summer break. So he was in one of those summer camps. Okay. And at the summer camps, they don't get the same level of attention as they would normally get during normal school, right?
Okay.
The summer counselors, they're not as, I mean, there's so many kids and there's only so many counselors, right? And one young boy said something to another young girl that we can't even say. I can't even repeat on the show. I just know that it was really bad.
Yeah.
Right. And Adam was in that circle around those other boys. Okay. So one of the counselors wanted to bring it to my attention. Said, "Hey, your son didn't say anything, but he was in this group. We just want to let you know that this happened." Right. And I asked my son about it, and he confirmed that, yeah, that's what happened. And my first question to him was, "Okay, well, did you laugh?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Was that funny to you? What about that was so funny?" Right? And he's like, "I don't know why. It was just funny." Right? And he immediately felt terrible about it. I was like, that was the problem. The problem wasn't that you can't tell me that you didn't say anything. No. Standing by that person when they say something like that. So I think that what I'm really trying to get out of this is the most important thing right now is, raising these kids to really learn the difference between right and wrong, to make sure that if stuff like that happens, you gotta know when to like walk away and be like, I don't want to even be associated with any of this.
Unfortunately, when it comes to viewing it on social media, you just viewing it is endorsing it, giving somebody views, but you don't know what you're seeing until you see it.
Yeah. No, but exactly. But like, almost like kind of like the reason why I have a bone to pick with Graham Stephan, right? Or is it Stephen Graham? What's his name? Graham Stephan, right? You giving Cardone a platform to come on your platform.
He gives everybody a platform now. He doesn't care.
Yeah, but like to talk to him in a way where you're endorsing, knowing well.
You were supposed to be an advocate for financial literacy and helping people get smarter about money.
Right, and the person you're bringing on is pushing a different kind of agenda. So it's like, for that same reason, I expect you to not give somebody, an endorsement where if they do something wrong, you still stand by them. Right? I have had to walk away from so many friendships and relationships over the course of my lifetime.
Me too.
I know, like, it gets difficult. I know it's hard. So it's not like I would be telling him to do something that I personally have not done. I mean, I've had to cut.
I get that.
I had to cut ties with people, like 20-year relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not easy.
No, I know.
Especially when it's embedded, like, through your family.
No, I get it. I've done the same.
So I mean,
it's fully understand.
It's like trying. I don't know how. I don't know if there was one single life lesson that got me to think that way and be that way, but trying to figure out a way to deliver that message and teach
but keep
that
in mind,
lesson.
for them, it's going to be harder than it was for us.
Yeah,
they live in a different time with the false narrative ability right now is wild. You probably saw the call. I jumped on a company-wide call where one of the guys from IT was showing me that he could deep fake me. I jumped on a call and watched me talk to everybody else.
That was crazy.
Yeah, he did that in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and said that it could be much better.
Just using photos of me that he found on the internet.
Unbelievable.
And it looked, I mean, if it wasn't for the voice, he could have passed off as me.
Yeah.
And he said he could have gotten the voice right if he would have had like more time, especially because we have a podcast.
It's a little too skinny though.
Man, that's hurtful.
No, in like a bad way. Like you're not. You put on muscle, bro. Yeah, Come on,
that's fine,
man.
Bro. You know I'm sensitive.
You're wearing the.
I got body dysmorphia, bro.
You're wearing the tight. What are those shirts that everyone's selling on True Classic? You're wearing a True Classic right now?
This is a tall, slim tee, actually.
True Classic.
I had to get custom shirts made because I'm too tall.
Let's get into some of these reviews.
Oh, I forgot about the reviews.
We'll do a quick dive, and you're going to pick 2, you said?
Yeah, 2.
All right. All right. This from Leroy7725. Man, it's going to be hard to beat.
Okay. Give it to me, Leroy.
The Higher Standard is my one must-listen-to podcast.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
that sounds like you're getting material.
Great start, right?
Yeah.
You got the hook in.
You get the merch.
Chris, Saied, and Haroon, all spelled correctly, are extremely knowledgeable and have given their time and expertise to inform the masses about building wealth and living life to the fullest. I appreciate them helping to explain difficult concepts and breaking them down for the casual listener to be able to understand. In addition, they talk about their personal struggles, their families, and the importance of being positive role models for their kids, which helps to make things more relatable and draws us all in. The Higher Standard is a podcast that everyone can enjoy and learn at the same time. Looking forward to many more exciting episodes. Leroy.
Leroy's getting some merch.
That was a solid vote of confidence.
You want to ping him and see what he wants?
Yeah, I'll hit him up. I mean, I got to see if we can find him on Insta. But clearly they're listening. So if Leroy, you're listening to this, hit me one of us up in the DMs. And by one of us, I mean me. Because these other assholes won't get back to you.
I'm just popular, bro.
All right, this one for sure is getting the merch.
All right.
It's a random username. 5 stars all around. This podcast has completely transformed my perspective on financial literacy. After falling victim to a crypto scam, I became extremely hesitant to invest. However, Chris and Saied's expertise and encouragement have given me the confidence to start building my wealth.
Chris, and Saied.
Saied misspelled too. So he hit me up. This one already hit me up in the DMs, and he's like, "I apologize for misspelling your name."
I like him already.
And I was kind of hoping you did it on purpose. Like I thought we would have been closer if you were.
Yeah.
I recently hit my first full share of Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF.
Oh, nice.
And have also taken a position in a company I strongly believe in.
There you go. Okay.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Give him some merch.
Yeah. Growing up in poverty, I never imagined owning stocks or saving money. The Higher Standard podcast has equipped me with the knowledge and tools to pursue my financial goals. Their wit and grit make each episode entertaining and informative. I'm truly grateful for their impact on my life and the financial world. Thank you, Chris, Saied, and Haroon.
Getting some merch.
You're going 2 for 2, huh? You don't even want to hear the other ones.
No, save them for the next show.
Let's save the other 2 because you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to.
I want to be able to have some merch to go on the next show too.
I like it. All right. For the listener, Leroy 7725, hit me up in the DM. We'll make sure we take care of you.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. All right, man. You got anything else?
No, Haroon, you do? Oh shit. Yeah.
Over under.
What?
He listens to the show.
Oh, he's not listening to the show. No way.
Put something in the. Say something right now for the show that we'll know if he listened or not. Oh, dude, you look like you lost some weight, man.
That's mean.
Now you know he's gonna you know.
I do have a question for him that I haven't been able to get an answer. Why won't he wear the Apple Watch, even if he's not working out?
No, but he was rocking it for a long time. Is he not wearing it anymore?
He's not wearing it. So like when I go to see like his movement, like it shows no movement because he's not wearing it.
Oh,
why?
Yeah.
Like you need to tell time.
No, I know.
You know, like why are you just not wearing it? Like, are you so defeated that you just don't want us to know how much you're not moving?
I think he doesn't want to know how much he's not moving.
So you just don't wear it?
Maybe that's it.
Man, that's a hard stance for.
But Haroon's he's a different kind of guy, man. He'll be on like a trend where like he'll get his haircut like once every like 2 weeks, and then he'll go like 2 months without getting a haircut, and then he won't wear shoes. He'll just wear flip flops. It's like maybe he's just not a watch wearing guy.
I guess. Sure. Okay. I wear mine every day.
Have to.
First thing I put on in the morning when I wake up.
I'm not trying to showcase this tan line.
Yeah, I'm in the cold plunge with it. I mean, I'm with it.
You take showers with yours?
Only if I've like worked out and sweat a lot that day. I just want to wash it off. So I just wash it off in the shower.
Oh, I see.
But generally, no, I don't.
Take some wet wipes to it.
Alcohol pads.
Yeah.
I use the same ones I use from when I take injections when I get home.
Is that what you did?
Okay, I don't make the hand gesture.
You just did it though.
Well, I inject. Yeah. Don't. Why is it gotta be sexual with you, bro?
Good night, everybody.
You can't sexualize my injections.
I did though.
Got a disability, bro. Too fond. Bye, everybody.